So we have three guests today. We have Daniel he's the CMO partner in Aurora Digital and also CMO and co-founder at Vietnamese Entrepreneurship Society. And we have Sonia, who's CEO and founder, project manager of Sonia Met. And then we also have Susie from she's an entrepreneur from Disneyland Marketing. So now I will give the stage to Calvin, and let's see what kind of questions he prepared for our three guests.
She made it sound like some interview questions they prepared. Anyways, my name is Kelvin, and I'm the chapter director for Startup Grind Helsinki. And they are my team, she, Para, and Maria. She already introduced them before now. And here we have our amazing speakers with a lot of experience in digital marketing. So we want to, through their experience, go into the field of digital marketing to get more insights, understand more how the evolution has been, the future of digital marketing, and more about their own background in terms of their experience. Yeah. So it's called Fireside Chat. So nothing too serious. Feel free, if you have any question at any point in time, you can write them down. We already got some questions, so we have a list of questions here. But we're not going to just go with this, so feel free to have your own questions and have a brief introduction of ourselves, so we can go.
I can start. My name is Sonia. I started a company a bit more than 3 years ago, which was called Foster4. And I started it with my friend. We decided that there are not so many businesses going around in social media. And because we were using social media quite heavily, we decided that it's actually a good opportunity to start a company and help small businesses to grow, like small cafes and, any places that we feel are good to promote through, for example, Instagram. So that's how we started, and we were lucky to get our first client just in like second day, which was like, sometimes you're lucky when you're like, okay, I want to start this, and yeah, so we started like that, and we had no idea of how to start a business, how to make a business, how to make contract. When we made our first contract, I was like asking her, should we write like the sum in the end with VAT or without? I was like, what should we do? Because like we literally didn't know anything about doing business, and we didn't have anyone to help us. So I was asking some friends; they were giving me some advices, but of course this is for not like the real school where you could go and get those advices. So we've been doing all these mistakes and all this on our own, and it was a hard way. But now my company is no longer called Foster4. We've been undergoing some major changes, and now I'm working not with a partner, so I'm alone. And I'm working as an entrepreneur, and I'm having people who work with me, who are my co-workers, who help me with different fields, like in photography and like different fields. And our main specialization is now content creation. This is where we are focused now. And we also manage the social media channels. We do the paid ads. We're doing quite a broad way, variety of things in digital marketing and in branding and in design. But we're mostly focused on the content creation, which means photo production or video or copywriting or whatever it has to be produced.
Hi everyone, I'm Daniel. I'm from Vietnam. I moved to Finland like 6 years ago in 2013. So maybe I can tell you a little bit about my story also. Yeah, so back then in Vietnam, when I was studying SAT for my college entrance exam, I noticed there was a lack of wood materials, English materials for students just like me, and I see that there was a business opportunity here. Yeah, so I have some savings at that time, and I decided that okay, I could sell books to other students. Yeah, so Yeah, so I started to do marketing on Facebook first because it was easy and fastest marketing channel with literally no upfront payment. Yeah, and yeah, the business went quite well. My small online bookstore went quite well, so I decided that okay, I need a web shop, online web shop, so I can sell to more students in other cities and areas. And so at that time I was young, inexperienced. I learned by doing and by making mistakes. Yeah, and yeah, so that business was my very first experience with digital marketing. And never did I realize that it has a huge impact on my career and my life. Yeah, so it's a very first experience of me. It ignited my passion, my love for digital marketing. Yeah, and from there, and I got accepted to Aalto University, and then I moved from Vietnam to Finland 6 years ago, and it was probably one of the best decisions I have made in my life. And you can see that it's very different the life in Vietnam with the life I have here in Finland. And after I studied at Aalto University, but in Mikkeli, not in Helsinki. So after my graduation, I worked. Yeah, so I moved to Helsinki. I was fortunate to get a marketing internship at a tech startup in Helsinki. So I moved to Helsinki. I started my career. I've been working with several companies, and all of my jobs are related to digital marketing. And early last year, okay, yeah, and during my time I was working full time, I started to take on freelance projects, like really small marketing and web design projects. And early last year, 2018, I co-founded my agency Aurora Digital, and this agency focus more on IT development projects, like website, mobile app, software, and also marketing services. Yeah, so we are literally we are a young company. We are more than 1 year old, and also the team is quite young. But we've been making really good progress with very good cases and testimonials from the clients. Yeah. Yeah, and on the other hand, I'm also passionate about entrepreneurship and startup and entrepreneurship. So I'm also a board member of VietES, Vietnamese Entrepreneurship Society. It's a close-knit community for Vietnamese people living and working in Finland. Yeah. The goal of that organization is to support and nurture Vietnamese people who want to become an entrepreneur, who plan to become an entrepreneur, or who just have a business idea that they want to start with. We want to support them and to have them successful, and at the same time also build up our community here. We have quite a thriving Vietnamese community here in Finland. Yeah, in case you don't know. So that's VietES. So I think that's the two things that I have been involved at the moment.
I think my story is a little bit longer than that. Back in 1999, it was my first time that I got my first job in marketing. And I have been working since then in digital marketing since it began to be the digital era, mostly for heavy industries and for education. And nowadays I am focused for startups and entrepreneurs and helping them. What else? To sum up a little bit, what I do is branding. So from scratch, when the company comes and it's so young that does not know how it's going to look, what it's going to be, and how we'll approach to the customers. So I do the branding for them, and then I give to them the means how they can promote. So then it comes the digital marketing, and then I help them to either continue with the content management, or they can also follow on their own as well. And as well, I kind of fix the mistakes that they have done, because they have tried to do many things on their own and they try many bites from here and there. So I fix all of those mistakes, and then after that, it's also again the package where they can continue or go on their own. So what fascinates me about marketing is that they always keep me curious, because there are always something new coming up and something new to learn, and it's actually a journey. When you meet up your first customer or the customer that comes to you, it's like we are growing together. We get to know each other. I listen to them a lot, and then we together are in front of their customers. So we are the ones that lead this and get the connection. So it's a teamwork mostly, from my point of view. And that passionates me a lot. I am very much a people person. So.
Thank you so much. I guess now the audience know a bit more about your, how you started and all of that. And you already covered some of the questions. But that's fine.
Sorry.
So if you are to talk about like a particular platform in digital marketing or a particular segment of digital marketing, which would it be and why?
I can go first.
Okay.
For me, I will choose LinkedIn. So I'm mostly working in B2B market at the moment, and everybody knows that LinkedIn is the most effective channel for B2B. I assume that everybody here has a LinkedIn account. How often do you check your LinkedIn account? Compared to Facebook? Once per month? Or only when you need to look for a job? And for LinkedIn, LinkedIn is the largest professional network with more than almost 600 million users over 200 countries and territories. And every second, there are two new users joining LinkedIn. Every month, there are about 260 million users active on LinkedIn, so a lot of impressive numbers to say that LinkedIn is a place to be. Yeah. What is LinkedIn all about? We know that LinkedIn is a professional platform, professional networking platform. So you go there, you connect with other professionals, other experts, your colleagues, your boss. Besides that, is LinkedIn also a recruitment platform where HR managers, headhunters, and talent job seekers can find each other. LinkedIn is also your CV, your online CV, your profile. Believe it or not, for example, when you apply for a job, a HR recruiter, they can just search for your name or some keyword related to you, and then your LinkedIn page will show up probably as a top result. Yeah. So LinkedIn is for B2B businesses. You can find potential. You can do business in LinkedIn. You can find potential customers, grow your network, share your knowledge. But for me, I think one thing really interesting about LinkedIn is that you can build up your personal branding on LinkedIn. As a professional, what you do, what you're good at, what values you are holding to. The personal branding. Personal branding is something like when you are not in the room. So that's something people will remember about you. So for example, if I'm just talking and posting about LinkedIn, then you will have thinking that a thought that okay, I might be a LinkedIn guy. And so whenever you have some questions about LinkedIn, you will remember me. You will try to ask me. You try to approach me and ask me questions, and Sigma ask me to help you with something related to LinkedIn. So it's kind of the personal branding that you make people believe that you are doing your good or something, that you can help them with something. So, yeah, so okay, so to sum up my point, LinkedIn is a great platform for B2B, but also for individuals and small businesses. For individuals, if you want to build your personal brand, yeah, or to grow, or to develop your career, or if you are doing a business, then you can do business on LinkedIn. Yeah, so really great platform. Yeah, even though that recently it has more or less turned into a second Facebook. Yeah, so social platform.
I know it was very short time for you to talk like everything about LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Probably in the future we can have specific workshop about LinkedIn because since he has a lot of experience on LinkedIn, you know,
Yeah, we are
you can give him like an entire event and you come and learn everything about LinkedIn. Thank you so much.
It depends on the customer very much and the industry that the customer is in. So basically, if we will give a very simple example, is a cafeteria, so then it will go on Instagram. If we are going about heavy industries, then we go on LinkedIn. And if we are promoting events for an artist, then we will go on Facebook, or we will have also YouTube channels, or we will go to Spotify and so on. So the platforms are very broad, and they are just tools that we will use in order to satisfy or to connect with the customers that we are targeting. So that's how I feel that.
We're working mainly with Instagram. I would say this is like the main platform that we use. And I personally like Instagram a lot. I have been using it since the early beginning when it was like solely for sharing pictures with friends, and you're like sharing what you really feel, like your real food and things like that. So I really like how Instagram is working in these both directions, how people are still connected with their friends there and viewing the stories of the friends and pictures, videos, everything, and how the brands are including their content in between this whole, friends thing. So for me, it presents a good opportunity for the clients that we work with to get their products as close as possible to the client, because people are using Instagram very in a personal way, and we're using Instagram in the evening before we go to sleep. We are sometimes like, not everyone, but a lot of people, and they're doing that. And when they, waking up, eating breakfast, they're just scrolling the feed. So this is very personal thing, and when you can promote your product and the brand in this personal moment, you can get really close to the client, so to the audience that you want. So yeah, I would say that Instagram would be one of the tools that we're mostly using and that I like. And of course, it's more B2C, although it's also B2B, and it's heavily using in the B2B sector, but then it's considered to be more B2C, of course. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Quite a lot of diversity. So I wanted to know, because most times when you talk about digital marketing, so many things comes to my mind, not just me, most people. Sometimes it even gets confusing that to define digital marketing becomes a big trouble, because somebody can tell you I'm a digital marketer, but what does it really mean? So from your own perspective, like how would you define digital marketing, and who can you call a digital marketer?
Well, digital marketing becomes in times that everything starts to be digital. So and then it's marketing through digital channels. Like the internet is one of them, and then the mobile phone is another. channel that you can use, and like this, everything that goes digital, it will be called digital marketing, quite simple.
I think it's like the most natural way how people now are communicating, and like the place where people are spending most of, like, sometimes it's unfortunately that it's the place where people are really spending most of their time. It's when they are going online and they're browsing for this, browsing for that, they're sitting in front of their laptops, and then they're going home with their phones in hand while they're in a tram, and they're getting home, opening the screen again, watching some movie. So it's like something that is like life around you. It is digital marketing. I think there is no way to, to separate yourself from it.
The first thing
It's very hard.
the first thing you see in the morning, the last thing you see
That's true.
before you go to sleep.
If you're not living in somewhere in middle of Finland in the cottage with no internet, no phone. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, digital marketing has two parts: digital and marketing. So marketing is about finding, reaching to the right audience, connecting with them at the right time, in the right place. And digital, like the two ladies here said, and everything is digital nowadays. Yeah, and you have to reach out to our audience, aware that they spend a lot of their time in digital channels like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest. One thing I like about digital marketing, one thing I realize is that digital marketing is so powerful. It is very powerful. What makes digital marketing different from the traditional marketing? In the past, we don't have social media. The internet is not everywhere. If you have a business, then you want to do marketing, it costs a lot of money. It was expensive to do marketing at that time. But in the digital age, now you have digital marketing, and it leverages, it empowers everyone. It empowers individuals and business, and it allows you to do a lot of things that were not impossible in the past. Yeah. Sometimes if you get lucky and you have a very successful digital marketing campaign, then the results you generate can be equal to huge companies, huge corporations that spend millions of euros in their marketing. Yeah. So that's one thing that I'm really grateful about, that we are born in a very exciting time. Yeah, and then just one more thing is that to do digital marketing, it doesn't cost you that much. Let's say that you have a laptop, and by the way, it has to be connected to the internet. Yeah, a laptop. Yeah, without internet connection, you might be over that. So you just need a laptop and the internet connection, then you can do digital marketing. You can set up your own marketing agency, and sometimes you can just do it with your phone. Yeah. So that's something very interesting about digital marketing. That it empowers everyone, and now everybody has a chance to grow personally, professionally, and also grow the business.
I know that back then you can't really measure the impact, right? Like you put some ads on billboard, like how do you know the number of people that see the ad?
Magazine,
Yeah, how do you know
TV.
the number of people that click, or I don't know, that signs up, or it's very difficult, but now it's quite easy. You can track the metrics, impressions, views, everything has become just with a click you get everything. Yeah. But you made a very interesting point. You said now you don't need you just need your phone, right? Or I don't know, internet and all of that. Right? So could you, I don't know, give more insight, like how, for someone that is not in the field or not in the ecosystem, how can I with my phone or with my laptop and with internet build a
That's
brand or
that's a difficult question for one to go first. And it's a marketing. Okay, all right. Yeah, okay, so I have one example. To do anything, you need to be passionate. You need to find something that you love and you are passionate about that you can do every day without getting tired and bored. Yeah. So what do you want to do? Let's say that you love traveling. Yeah. So what can you do with digital marketing? You can just set up an Instagram account, and then whenever you go somewhere, you go traveling, you take nice photos of the place, of your experience of that place, and then you share your experience, share the stories, and then with if you post good content, relevant content to the right audience, then your account will start to grow. More people will know about you, and if you are consistent, yeah, more people will grow will know about you, and you will grow more. You will start to get followers. You will start to get traction, and at some point you can start to monetize your Instagram account. That's one example. Not only traveling, but anything you are passionate about. Let's say cooking. And with cooking, you can create a YouTube channel. Share your how you cook something, or you can start a blog that you can share the recipes to cook something. Yeah. So just do something that you're passionate about. And even if you are pursuing some professional career like marketing or design or development, IT development, you can also do the same thing. Start a blog, yeah, it's free. Start a YouTube channel, yeah, and then you will need, okay, let's say, I don't know, but you can still do it with your phone, yeah. So really little to no investment that you can start to do something, yeah, to build up your personal brand or your business. Yeah, it always starts small. I had this, I remember this saying that all big companies used to be small, started small. Yeah.
that was a good one.
Thank you.
Please, you have something to feel free, please.
Well, yes, of course, you can start to do things on your own, and this is nothing wrong about it, but I believe that every person is good at doing something. And when you are good at something, you should keep that. And then I am good at doing digital marketing, so I do that for you. And you don't need to be an expert on everything. I believe that people don't need to focus or stress in other things that are not expert for that. They can rely on information on the help of a professional digital marketing like these guys or myself or any person that they feel a connection to work with. Because then, only then, the things will move forward and then they will grow and then the things will be like a team working. This is mostly what happens. When you would like to work, you need to team up in order to grow. And I believe that, or if I would like to just grow my own company, just alone towards the world, it will not really succeed. I will always need the people around me. Yes, a team.
I would say that like you can if you just have the desire to do something on digital marketing, that might lead you to doing random stuff. Like you're going to travel and you're like, oh, I would now become a travel blogger. And then you're getting back from this place and you're like, oh, now I'm gonna cook ramen. I'm gonna become like a chef blogger. But then it's and then there are a lot of examples how it's not really working in that direction. So it's I don't see a lot of effect in doing something just in with the desire to do digital marketing. But if, for example, you have some passion and you feel that you want to share it, then it's working much better. Because in the end, the people who are popular on social media and the brands that are popular on social media, it's not because they're just doing nice pictures. That's because they're really doing something interesting, like usually, in most cases. That's because they're really traveling to interesting places that no one else is traveling. That's because they're waking up at 4 in the morning and, going 5 hours with the bus somewhere to find something beautiful. And they're doing that, I'm sure, not because they love Instagram so much, but maybe because they really love to travel, and they would do that even without Instagram. So I think that maybe it's better to focus on finding what you actually love to do, yeah, like you said, like passion, and then to just express with like your feelings of it with the world and just share.
It's like a journey.
Yeah.
You started and you go with it and you grow along the way.
Yeah. And as you said, then you don't feel tired after one day. Well, of course you feel tired and you feel exhausted and you feel that you don't maybe longer want it. But then at some point you still want to continue because you really like it, and other things you don't really like. So
I really like the way you put it. It's not about going to Instagram and creating an account and putting pictures. Like, if you're not passionate about it, at some point you quit. That's why you have, I don't know, people start projects. Yeah, I think my friend is doing travel blog. Let me open an Instagram account and put some food and like if you really have the passion, then you can do it. But if it's just for, I don't know, fun, or because some people are doing it or some other thing, yeah, that could really it could die off at any point.
Good content is like emphasized on all the apps. That's how you attract people. But now I think all those apps now competing with each other by emphasizing, for example, targeting audience. And now they're competing each other. Okay, you have good content, but I have like less attractive content, but I can target people, so I got more audience than you. So how when you work on do your daily work, how you understand your audience and then do the good targeting?
I would say that in our case, well, I think generally now, like one of the trends of like this year and would be continuing, I'm sure, that the content, like organic content, is not getting the reach. And that's why you need to promote it. That's why you need to target it. So that's the sad truth that you have to promote it. Even though the content might be good, it can be getting not the reach that you wanted to get. So, and Facebook and Instagram mechanisms are lowering it in the feed, so you can see you won't see this post at the first place, and that's why you need to make paid ads for that. And I would say that this is maybe one of the real big issues that we're facing right now with most of our clients, because they've been saying that the content is the king and you need to provide a good content, and that's a must. Of course you have to provide the good content, and but still you need to promote it, and there is no way it's going to be successful if you're not promoting it. If you're starting a business, if you have a face and you're already well-known brand, then you might be just getting without paid promotions, because, for example, you have a huge loyal audience that is still following you. They want your post and they know you. But if it's a new brand, or if it's not very well-known brand, if it's a small brand, then you need to promote it. So I don't know if I answered your question.
It's more like how you understand your audience and how to target.
How to target. Well, you just you have to know your product really well and know what's the core of your product and how your what's the value it's bringing in, what it is about, and what you want. And then you're setting some kind of metrics that you want to achieve. And then I think that you just need to test on the different audiences. For example, if you have no idea at all what kind of audience you need, then you can test. But but usually you're just doing the marketing research, like the normal research that you would do. Like you can do it in a very different forms. To ask the people who potentially could be your customers, or sometimes you can go on the streets and ask if you feel that you need some, for example, school students, or you need some other people. So yeah, like general marketing research there is, and then to target it for different and try to do A/B testings, and yeah, I don't think there is any magic spell that you do and it just works. So it's more like yeah. Interesting.
Do you have something to add about this thing?
Well, yeah, it's a lot what you say, and as well as listening to your organisms. And you should be an expert of your customer, of your customers. So you have to know very well what the customers are, who they are, what they represent, where they are, what is the persona of them. So then if you understand all these characteristics, if you know all the features, if you know what they talk, if you talk their language, then it's way easier to target something, because you already have the knowledge of the industry and you already know what are you going to do further. And the steps is just following. And I suggest that it would be very good if you have organic and paid advertising. So not everything has to be paid. There is a lot of content that you can produce, and the users will get it for free. Not popping up all the time, because also you will get a lot of withdrawals if you are just so aggressive. So it's a good combination to have organic and paid advertising. No signal. No payout.
Yeah, thank you for your good points. If you would think about this year 2019, what are you currently planning to do different in relation to the previous year of 2018? So now we dive a little bit deeper into like digital marketing. So if you go a little bit more deep under the hood, so which trends do you actually spot now, which work better? Maybe you can talk about different platforms, or maybe you can talk about it a little bit in general, that what works better now in 2019 in relation to like previous year.
Yeah. Well, actually, this is funny for me, because when I started with the digital or marketing, or with marketing, it was the first lesson I learned. It was that you don't do marketing for the company that hires you, you do marketing for the customer of the company. And nowadays it's so much trendy to say that this customer experience. But the customer experience is from the very beginning of the times. Then people say that, oh, let's use artificial intelligence. So we are going to have these chatbots, or we are going to do this advertisements on Facebook that has all these algorithms, and then all of this knowledge about the people and so on. So again, I think it's coming back to the roots, where you have to listen a lot. So the 3 times listening, listen, and then B, what I say, you don't do marketing for the company that hires you. You do it from the company to the customer. So you have to really be careful with that. The number 3, I think it would be something that they say, personalization. So you have to personalize or tailor all your marketing and all your content to the customers, or to the people that you are targeting. But again, this is for me nothing new, because from the very beginning what I learned is that you have to tailor everything. If you don't tailor, then it's like you just copy and pasted somebody else's campaign, and then you put it in the industry that you're not just loving. So these are the 3 trends of 2019.
One thing about digital marketing is that I think not only digital marketing, but a lot of things is that it always keeps changing. It's in a constant moving forward. So there have been a lot of trends, and there will be also a lot of new trends. So whatever you do, you need to stay on top of things, and you need to stay in the loop, get updated with the latest news and development, especially when you rely heavily on one platform. Yeah, so that can be very risky. For example, like Susie and Sunda already mentioned that uh, we we do digital marketing, and sometimes we have to rely heavily on an existing platform. It could be Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. And so it's not our platform. We don't have any control over it. So it's a lot of things, many things, everything is out of our hand. And for example, just after the Facebook security privacy scandal, so the Facebook team, they have been updated, they have pushed a lot of updates to the platform, and one of the things is they they explain that they reduce the reach of the brand's content to prioritize the brand's content. Yeah. But it's not good for advertiser, it's not good for marketers from our point of view. Because now it costs more for less. So we in the past, just an organic post, it could reach like 1,000 people, but now it reach like 10 people. Yeah, and if you don't pay Facebook, yeah, they don't, you don't promote the post, and it reach nobody. Yeah, so to reach the same effect, the same result in the past, and you need to pay. Yeah, and my point is that things are already changing, yeah, and a lot of things they are out of our control. And so what we can do is that we need to stay, to keep our head above the water, and always like keep updated, keep learning, and try to reduce the risk by, for example, finding other channels, yeah, finding other road channels and new channels. Mm. So, for example, now so the Pinterest could be a new platform, so because it's new and not everybody has been there. So if you are an early user, early adopter, then you get the advantage. One is become established. One is got the momentum, then it will grow fast. And now you go there, you already late. So if you are early, yeah, you get on board, and you take the advantage.
We take Instagram specifically, then the trends that I see is first is the real content, that people are really tired of content that looks like fake, that is way too good to be true, you know. And people are starting to really spot that, and they want to see something that would be more realistic. So that's why a lot of, if you take a look at the brands and how they're communicating, they're getting as close as they can with the customers. They're sharing the content of their customers. So for example, fashion brands are sharing the photos of just people who are wearing their clothes, and they're sharing them. And that's a real content, because it's a real person that is wearing this clothes. The same goes with integrating Instagram as a shopping platform to the web pages. For example, when you go to shop on the web page, and you have, you know, this kind of shop the feed from Instagram, and you can shop the looks that were taken from the Instagram, which makes, you know, this kind of selling process really much quicker. That you see something on Instagram, you go to the web page. On the web page, you have the same feed. You just click this dress, you see how it looked on this girl, and you like it, and you buy it. So it's like making people make the decisions a lot faster than it used to be. So I see that real kind of content is one of the trends. Then the shopping platform is the second trend for the Instagram. Then the stories, and that the stories are real content that needs to be planned and needs to be carefully thought about, because this is the content that now people are really organically see more than the feed posts, and because they're like prioritized based on time, which is now good, because if you just posted it 1 minute ago, it would be in the beginning. So this is very good for brands to use this opportunity to really provide some interesting and quality content to the stories. And actually not many brands are doing that. Like everyone knows that there are stories and you need to do that, but then not that many brands are really following that and putting quality content in them. They're like, okay, it's gonna disappear in 24 hours, so I'm just gonna, put this picture, doesn't care. And that this is already maybe not a good, strategy to continue doing that. And then, I would say that maybe bloggers is a huge trend now. It's not trend of this year. Of course, it started much earlier. But in Finland, I would say that it's booming now, really. And like in whole world, I think it's very, like, one of the things that companies can take advantage now of, to use the bloggers as the source of, like, to promote their products. Because this is one of the best promotions, because the people are following people. And I believe a person way more than I believe some brand. Even though I love this brand, but I will believe this person more, especially if I'm following this girl for 2 years. I know how her mother looks, how her boyfriend, what he wears, I know everything about her. So I believe this like much more. So I would like to buy products that she would say are good. And when working with bloggers, of course, you need to carefully choose the blogger, because it's now a huge thing. Everyone is a blogger now, so you need to really carefully pick the one that not would be with the huge audience maybe, but that would be with the right audience for your brand. And for that one, of course, you need to know what your brand is and what is your audience, and is it is it the same as the blogger audience? Yeah, so I would think that these are the main trends maybe.
That's not trend.
That is the trend of all times.
Don't know that.
They keep evolving, they keep changing, and they don't stay the same. What works today may not work tomorrow. So one thing, so one thing you can do is that you can create content, new type of content, and then you keep update with the new features. So whenever they push out a new update, then you get on board, and then you are one of the early adopters. Then you will get a lot of exposure. Like the stories, now it's popular, but back then, just 1 year ago or around ago. And so not so many people use it, but now many people use it, and it's like one of the core features of Instagram. The same thing with like live video, live stream video on Facebook, and now on LinkedIn. LinkedIn now they updated, they are catching up with the other platforms. So LinkedIn is a bit slow with these updates, but they are also pushing, testing new features like the live video, and I think in some markets they also have the stories on LinkedIn. They are testing the story features on LinkedIn. Yeah, and LinkedIn is very different from the other platforms, so we will see how it. Yeah, so let's see, because it's a new feature. So whenever I go to LinkedIn, I receive notification somebody go live, or they have the stories. So it makes me curious, and then I click watch. So that's one thing. So always keep updated with the platform, stay on top of things, and try to take advantage of those new features.
If I can expand on the topic of the bloggers and like social media influencers in general, I think it was like very nice topic that you raised, that is like now trending. How do you actually nowadays understand, without like knowing or having any background about like some particular influencer, understand that that influencer actually have quality audience? We do know, every one of us, most of us probably know that the number of followers is not the measure anymore, but the quality actually is. So what are the keys for measuring the quality of the following?
Well, the main key, I think, is the best thing you can do is to ask the statistics straight from the blogger. That's the best thing you can actually do. And in some countries they can fake it, but in Finland I don't think they're gonna do that. So it's quite okay to believe the bloggers. Probably they will send you real statistics. If you are afraid, ask to make the screen video. Then
Which statistics? Like
Like,
what do you
the
mean by
sta-
statistics?
statistics of the account, so that would include the statistics of how many, like what's the reach do they have weekly, what kind of, for example, engagement rate do they have, and like this kind of numbers. There are like 4 or 5 key key numbers that you would ask from them. And then the audience, you will ask what is the age group, what is like female or male audience do they have, and what are the countries where this audience is from. This is important. But then if you don't want to ask, if you just want to for 3 seconds to briefly take a look how it is, you can scroll the comments and see who is commenting. Are these real people who are actually commenting like, oh, this is a nice place, where it is located, I would love to go, or is it like a bot fake comments? And then you can click on couple of persons. I know that's too random, but that's something like you can do. Just click couple of names and see if it's like name bot 123 or it's a real name. Do these people have profile picture, which is important? How many posts do they have? So I think it's quite obvious nowadays to see if it's a bot or if it's kind of real person. It's quite easy to see that. So just check the comments, and like it should be the amount of likes should be well, at least it can be around 10% from the amount of followers. So you can also track that. So if, for example, they have 1 million of followers and I don't know, 1,000 likes, you can spot that for sure this is not real. And if there's 3 comments which are from bots, yes, this is for sure not real. But in Finland, most of the bloggers are really working very transparently, and they are not making fake followers. And if you go to their posts, you can clearly see that they're writing big text. They have a lot of comments, and they have a lot of likes. And then you can ask for the statistics. And they're like, for example, you can see also that they're active. They're posting like every 3 days, every week, or so it's not like last post was 3 months ago. So that's also like the activity is also a good thing to spot. But then if you want to be 100% sure, ask the statistics. And the statistics of the account, that's like a basic thing that you go like in your insights on Instagram, and you just go to your account statistics and your audience statistics, and it's then you would see that these followers are actually from Finland. They are 60% male and 40% female, and then this kind of thing that you realize that it's.
And can I expand a little bit on the question? So if you basically think about the same thing, but from the other perspective, from the perspective of a blogger, and we know that basically different audience, they are valued differently in terms of like basically, because if you have an audience which are like from 30 to 50, they are probably would have more money than the audience which is like 15 to 18, right? So what is the like proper way of marketing your services as a blogger to the companies when you have a certain audience? Did I understand your my question?
Like if I'm as a blogger.
Yeah, if you're a blogger, if, for example, you have a 1,000 or maybe like 10,000 followers which are on a certain age, and you can sort of prove that this audience is wealthy. So where do you actually start when you go to, for example, some car manufacturer and say that, okay, by the way, I can actually promote the car, and I have all this audience which are basically your target audience, but how much you should ask?
Okay.
Because because like the problem with what many bloggers probably have is that it is still quite common that people are only looking at the numbers. So it's like, oh, you have like 1,000 and it's like too little, and that person has 2,000. Maybe that's more, and that's why we are willing to pay for that person a little bit more because the following is bigger.
Okay. Yeah, I think I got the question. So I would say that because the market is still not stable with this blogger prices and everything, the amount the blogger wants to receive, that's the amount they're gonna ask. If they feel like 1,000 euro, they would say 1,000. If they feel like 10,000 euro, they would say 10,000. And we had cases with bloggers who have really big, very quality audiences, and they ask for 200 euro per post. And we had cases when bloggers had much less audience, and they were asking for 600 per post. So it's just how you feel, and it's how they value their own work. If they feel that they can do that for free, which also happens even with big bloggers, then they can do this for free. So there is no strict price yet, and there is strict price if you reach the bloggers through the agency that is working with the bloggers. For example, like Monochrome in Finland, then it would be more clearly for you. But if you're just reaching like that bloggers, yeah, you would get really random numbers.
So you should not like think about, for example, Google ads and Facebook ads and how much they cost for the companies in order to
No.
reach some certain audience, and like then put basically, okay, with Google ads you can reach this much people with like 10 euros, so I can reach this much people and I have this much followers, and you basically like price yourself further.
You can try to measure it, but there would be no guarantee that first the blogger would agree with this price, and second that this promotion would work with these numbers as you were planning to, because you never know how this product would fit the blogger audience. If it fits perfectly, then you can get really good results. If it would fit really not that perfectly, then you can get horrible results.
Yeah.
So it's and that's why a lot of companies are preferring to work through the agencies, because the agency, when they work with particular bloggers for a long time, they know what to expect, at least roughly.
Before we're talking about the trend, but talking about trend of the content, because before, for example, people will provide colorful pictures, and later on blog become very popular, and now, for example, the short form video form become very popular. That's how TikTok become the most downloaded app last year, and more than Facebook. And also now vlog is also quite popular, and also people are trying to do digital marketing in all kind of forms, music, sound. What do you feel about the trend, the next hot topic about the content form?
It depends on the customer. I don't believe that you have to follow just one trend just in order to satisfy the trend. It depends very much on the customer and what it suits to him and to his audience and to his customers. It depends very much. So you always have to tailor. That's where it comes. The very big one trend in 2000, I think, personalization. So if for your customer in the case, if it suits that you will prepare a very nice storytelling and you will prepare a video and then you will do a good LinkedIn account and then you will do this and that. So yes, that is your marketing plan and that is your strategy and then you follow that. But for the next customer, maybe the video is not suitable, maybe it's a photo session, maybe it's Instagram account, so it goes with that. So then we go there. Maybe the next customer is an artist, a singer. So then we have to go for Spotify, then we have to go Vimeo, and all of these kind of things. We have to go radio. So we cannot just follow one trend. We have to follow what suits to the customer and its customers.
I agree with you. I think that for the content, usually we may start with a content strategy. So we need to define what is our goal, what is our audience, target audience, what could be the channel, the channels, marketing channels that we can reach out to them, and what type of content we produce for those customers with the customer persona. Yeah, so you need to understand the customer where they are. And for the trend, I would say that many of the trends they are temporary, so they are short-lived. They may be for a couple of months or 1 year, and then they die out. But at the core of the marketing is marketing or the content is all about the customer, the business. Yeah. So even if the TikTok is a new platform, emerging platform, but it doesn't suit my business or the business of my client, and I don't think that I will recommend my client to get on that platform. But let's say that if you are you work with big client and they have budget, then maybe we can suggest them to allocate a small budget to test out new platform, to test it, to see if it works or not. That's one way.
Maybe only with one small remark that the trend, it depends what kind of campaign you have. For example, if you have like a awareness campaign or just to produce visibility, then you can offer some fancy things what are like everybody talking about. No, let's do videos. But if it's like usual sales campaign or like whatever kind of campaign, then you do things which actually help to produce to sell the products and services. So I mean I don't know, but I was just thinking when they want, sometimes they want something what is really fancy because they see everybody's doing, then they say we should do as well. But the question is that what is their goal of the company, what it wants to achieve.
Good comment. Yes, exactly. We always have to plan first and create the strategies and then use the tactics on the plan. So it's not that we just follow the flow. We just have to follow the strategy, and then we have to achieve our goals. So the main goal is that our customer streams comes through, and if one comes through, it will crush it. We just feel like, oh, today is I don't know, V plus up, super extra duper. Let's do it. No, we can do that.
I totally agree. It all depends on the goal and what the client wants, right? If video is trending, but
Sometimes the client doesn't know, so that's why it comes.
what the
Yes.
customers want,
We
let's
have
say.
to.
So you have to help the
Help,
client
yes.
know what they want and bring them back. But I have one final question. So, what has been your frustration or challenge in this, like since you started this journey in digital marketing, and how were you able to, move past them? Most probably, the audience could learn from your experience. This is the last question. Just
I don't know the answer. I think that for me is like I said, digital marketing or anything is always changing. It has been changing. It's constantly moving forward. And if you don't keep yourself updated with the new development and you just keep doing the same thing over and over again, and then at one point, then your marketing campaigns will bring less effective results. Yeah. So you always need to keep learning, updated yourself, and also to try to test out things, to test out new marketing channels, and to also have some experiments. Always have experiments to see what works and what doesn't work. And so there is no right or wrong answer, and you never know for sure. Whatever you do, you always want to have a budget for testing and experiment. So that's the thing that you always need to keep learning. Yeah. Yeah. But once you are passionate about what you are doing, then it's not a job anymore. So it's just like your routine that you just want to learn and stay on top of things.
I did not have big frustrations, to be honest. I just have some different phases because I have been working with different countries and different cultures. And I think now that I'm working with Finnish market, well, I am very open and talkative, and warm and I like to be next to the people and so on. And the Finnish culture is more reserved in a way, and they are not so talkative like me. So in order that we will create content for their own company, we have to manage that they will open their mouth and say me the things, what is happening, what is their company about, and I don't know, so it's a little bit, I don't know, it's also that they don't want to show off that much, or I don't really know very well why for their own campaigns they are not so much talkative, they don't provide too much information sometimes. Not everyone, but there has been some cases where I have that kind of challenge where I have to create everything on my own and to get to know my customer and further. So it was something for me at least.
Yeah, would maybe agree with you both, and yeah, definitely the the speed of changes in digital marketing. It's not like getting frustrated, but it's really something that you have to deal all the time, and that's something that you have to communicate to your clients that these are the changes, and now we need to change the way we work. And they're like, no, but it worked so good before that. Can we just continue doing that? And you're like, no, we really need to change that. And that's like the biggest challenge, because if I can realize that this is a change, and I'm like, okay, I have to deal with it, and then you're like dealing with it, and then starting to work differently. But then to get this to the client and make them understand that this is a change that made not by us. These are the mechanisms of, for example, I don't know, Google or Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and now we can't do this and we need to switch it, and then the feed would be optimized differently, and this and that's changing. So that's the maybe that's the hardest part.
A lot of things are out of our control.
Yeah. Because you can't just start working and then forget about it. And the work would be just continuing at the same pace. You every time you're like have to be there and keep one eye near the what's changing and the other with your client, and you're like, so yeah.
Appreciate you coming over to share your experience about digital marketing and all that. And please, can we give them? So yeah, that will be the end of the fireside chat. But we have a short session after this, more about startup brand. So within the next 10 to 20 minutes, SP is going to walk us through what startup brand is about and how we can be part of the community in the future. And after that, we can have our final networking where we can have more time with our speakers, get to ask them more questions, more personal and intimate questions if you wish. And yeah, so let's welcome on stage SP.
Thanks for the sharing. And yeah, I will just quickly go through with you what is startup brand and what you can expect from us. First, I want to show some number, and maybe you can guess what the number means. 125.
The oldest member?
That's a good one. So startup brand actually nurtures the startup community in more than 125 countries. And then 520 is the number that startup brand have chapters in those cities. And the 3.5 million. So startup brand helps 3.5 million entrepreneurs to help them, to inspire them, educate them, and connect them inside the community. Yeah, so you can see in the map that we're spread everywhere in the world. The cornerstone of the startup brand is mainly via the monthly events by connecting, inspiring, and educating our entrepreneurs. We believe in giving first, not taking, making friends instead of contact, and helping others before helping yourself. And we help founders we help the entrepreneurs to succeed by our monthly events in Helsinki. So basically to connect, inspire, and educate them. And we invited the successful founders, innovators, educators, and investors to our community to share the stories, the lessons they learned on the road to build great companies. And in this community, it's not only our community, but for all of yours. We want to build a community for everyone. So whoever want to become a speaker and the stage, always welcome. You're always welcome to the stage. And whatever topic you like to discuss in the events, just drop us a message and we will schedule it in the future. And in whichever form you want to participate or contribute to this community, and you're also always welcome. And why are we different? We have different forms in our events. We have speeches, we have panel discussion, we have fireside channel, and we also have workshops, and we also have our Startup Grind Summer Fun Day. So we want to build a community which is inspiring, educating, and also have a lot of fun. These are our past speakers, and we have speakers from all the fields in the past. And if you have unique startup story, and you might be our next speakers. So upcoming events, we will have a workshop in July, and then the summer fun party in August, and then in the fall, in September, we will have a big sharing event. So you are welcome to join the Startup Grind team in whichever form. If you want to be a speaker to share your ideas, or if you want to be a sponsor to improve the brand exposure, or if you want to be a venue host to present a nice environment, or if you just want to be a volunteer and help us out, please reach us in this link, or you can find the link in our Facebook or Instagram or the Startup Grind Helsinki page. You can find the link and join us. Or if you don't want to be any of the above, and you're always welcome to be the audience to be invited. And yeah, so we're here to bring this community to you, and want to build this community along with you, along with whoever want to be inspiring and ready to be inspired. Thanks. So thanks again for today's amazing guest. And if you have more questions to them, and feel free to ask. And if you want to talk more about your fellow participants, and also feel free. And that will be for today's event. And thanks for participating.